Are you considering traveling internationally for the first time? Well, if yes, then this is the video for you. In this video, I'll take you through the whole process, from planning your trip, to booking your tickets, to preparing for your trip and packing, and to traveling to your destination. And along the way, I'll give you tips and tricks on how to make sure your travel is absolutely hassle-free and as smooth as possible. So, let's get into it. Like everything else in life, international travel starts with a good plan. And to plan international travel, there are a few steps you should follow. You start with your plan with deciding on the destination and the dates you want to travel. And that stage is completely up to you. Obviously, the destination depends on where you want to go, or maybe it depends on your budget. Maybe you're looking for something cheap or for something luxurious. And the dates also depend completely up to you. It could be tied up with your work when you can take time off, or maybe you're completely flexible. So sit down and think about where you want to go and when you want to go. And if you're looking to get some budget ideas, you can use a tool called Google Flights. It's completely free and it's very flexible, and you can just plug in your destination, approximate dates, and see what comes up. You can look for the flights, for the hotels, and it will give you an idea of the budget. Once you've decided on the dates and the destination you want to travel to, the next important thing to do is to check the entry requirements to your destination. To do that, I use a free visa tool on Emirates website. You can just plug in your citizenship and the destination you're traveling to, and it will give you all the requirements you need to enter. And if you do need to apply for the visa, then go ahead and apply for the visa to your destination. Few side notes here. Some visa applications require you to have a flights booking and accommodation. If that's the case, then you need to go ahead and book your flights and accommodation. Also, a lot of countries, and you need to pay attention to this one, require you to have a passport valid for at least 6 months at the date of arrival. So make sure your validity of passport is correct, otherwise you simply won't be able to book the flights, or your visa application might be rejected. So the next thing to do is to check the health requirements. And different countries may require certain vaccinations. If they do, you need to get them. Also check with your doctor if you need to get any additional vaccination for your destination. So for example, if you're traveling in Africa, you quite often will be recommended to take the yellow fever vaccination and malaria pills while you're traveling. There are different requirements for Asia and obviously different requirements for Europe, etc. So check with your doctor, as it is important. You don't want to get sick while traveling. Once you've got all the legal formalities out of the way, you can start preparing for your trip. And the first thing I tend to do is just to quickly check the weather for my travel dates at the destination. And that will give you the idea of what clothing you need to pack at a later stage when you get to the packing stage, and what activities and trips you can do at your destination. Once you have some idea of what you want to do, you can go on sites like TripAdvisor or Get Your Guide and search for the trips or the activities you want to do and go ahead and book them. Next thing I tend to check is the transportation options at the destination. Is it the taxis? Is it an Uber? Is it some other apps like Bolt or Grab, or maybe country-specific app, etc. Or if there is a public transportation available. That's quite important because that will allow you to understand how you're going to move around the country or location where you are at. Also, at the same time, I tend to check the airport pickup, and I generally do it by obviously researching the transport and see what options are available. And the second thing is I send a mail to the hotel and ask them to quote me a pickup from the airport. And that will give you an idea, so that once you arrive into the country, you don't have to, frantically search for transport to get you to your hotel. You will already have that sorted. And the last thing to do is to check the travel insurance. Travel insurance is important as it protects you from unexpected. Things do go wrong sometimes, and it's good to know that if they do, you have something to cover it. To check the travel insurance, there's a couple of things I would recommend. First of all, check with your credit card company, because a lot of credit card companies actually provide travel insurance if you book the flights and accommodation with their credit card. So potentially you may get travel insurance free of charge when you book in your flights and hotels. In case if you don't, I would say have a look around, do some research, do some Googling, and find the travel insurance which suits you. There are different travel insurances and they do cover different things. But mainly, I would say you need the coverage for delayed flights, missed flights, and lost luggage, and any health-related incidents that may happen during your travel. That's probably the main coverage you need to look for. And I'm sure your local companies will provide you with quotes and options once you ask. Once you've got everything organized and you've got all your activities sorted, all your documents sorted, and you're ready to go, it's time to pack. Packing is not rocket science, but there are a few rules you should follow to make sure your travel is hassle-free. First, check the luggage allowance to make sure you don't exceed it, because if you do, you'll either have to pay additional fees at the airport or you will have to leave something behind. Next, think about what you need and what you will use. If you think that you may need something or you may use something, just don't pack it. It's just going to take up extra space, extra weight, and you most probably will not use it anyway. When packing, follow this very simple principle. In your carry-on, just put all your electronics, your cameras, and anything with batteries. Also put a set of clothing, some toiletries. So basically, the necessities that you may need to last you for a couple of days in case your checked-in luggage gets lost. It does happen sometimes, and it's better to have a separate set of clothes, small toothbrush, toothpaste, etc., just to last you for a couple of days until your checked-in luggage shows up, or you can go and buy some additional items. And then everything else goes into checked-in luggage. Also, when packing carry-on, just make sure you adhere to the limits. So liquids shouldn't be more than 100 ml. There are certain limits for some batteries, etc. Just follow those limits and don't exceed them. Otherwise, they will be confiscated at the security checkpoint at the airport. Additionally to your carry-on and checked-in luggage, you're always allowed to have one personal bag. And that could be a handbag for the ladies, small backpack for the gents, or a fanny pack, etc. And use it for your must-have items, right? So anything that you may need during your travel, such as passport, your visa documents, your mobile phone, chargers, headset, etc., right? So use that small bag. You'll have it always with you, and whenever you need something, it will be readily available for you to use. Additionally, any medication that you may need during your travel or at your destination, you should pack either in your personal bag, if you need it during the travel, or in your carry-on luggage, if you need it at your destination. Don't pack your personal medication into checked-in luggage, just in case if it gets lost, and you may not be able to find them at your destination. And lastly, there's few must-have items you should have when traveling. And I have a full video on it, and I will leave a link in the description below. But those items are hand sanitizer. Make sure you have a hand sanitizer. Make sure you have some band-aids with you. You never know when you can get a cut or a blister or something. And band-aids are a lifesaver. Make sure you have a power bank, because sometimes if you can't get things charged, power bank obviously will keep your mobile phone going, and sometimes you may need it for maps, pictures, etc., right? So get a power bank and have it with you. And also, a very important is a universal power adapter. I see so many people come to a new country and unable to plug in anything because sockets are different. Just get a universal power adapter. I don't know, 20 bucks on Amazon or so, and it's a lifesaver. And lastly, this is also crucial. Make sure you have a pen with you. Don't forget a pen. In some countries, you're required to fill in entry forms, entry declaration, etc., or you just need to write something down. Make sure you have a pen. Because again, so many times I see people running around airports looking for pens just to fill in some local document. So don't be one of them. Have a pen, will save you a lot of hassle when traveling. Well, and you're ready to go. Aren't you excited? And now we'll look at what you need to do when traveling from your current location to your destination. When traveling internationally, make sure you arrive to the airport early. The standard rule is to arrive 3 hours before your flight departure. But when departing your home, consider the following, and that depends on the mode of your transportation. Consider any possible delays on the road, such as traffic jams, accidents, train delays, etc. And make sure you take that into consideration when deciding on your departure time. And that will help you to avoid stress situations at the airport where you have to run like a crazy person through the airport through all the formalities because you're simply late to your flight. Once at the airport, find your check-in counters, and there's usually huge announcement boards with all the check-in counters listed there, and go to your check-in counter and check in into your flight. Once you've checked in for your flight, proceed to the departures area through passport control and security control. And here, make sure you follow the instructions from the officials to make sure that this part of this journey goes as smoothly as possible. Once you're in the departure area, and depending on the time left before your flight, there are a few options available for you to do. There's generally duty-free shops and some restaurants for you to explore. Alternatively, if you're flying business class or first class, you can go to the business class lounge or the airline lounge, depending on what's available at the airport. If you fly economy, you still can get into the airline lounges, and there are 3 options available to you. Number 1 is you need to have a certain status with the airline, meaning you're a frequent flyer and you have either a gold or platinum status, and depending on the airline. But probably if you're a frequent flyer, you're not watching this video anyway. The second option depends on your credit card. Visas, MasterCard, American Express, depending on the level of the card, sometimes give you free access to airline lounges around the world. So this is something you should check with your credit card, and if you do have an option, then use it and go to the lounge and enjoy it. And the last option is obviously to pay for the entrance to the lounge, and that varies between airlines, between lounges, etc. It can be anywhere from $50 to a few $100s. And alternatively, if you just don't want to do anything, you can go straight to the gate and wait for your departure flight. And obviously, to get to the gate, just follow the gate signs, and they're all over the airport. While at the airport, there are a couple of timings you need to be aware of. One is boarding gate opening time, and that's generally an hour before departure. And second is the boarding time when you actually get onto the airplane, and that's about 40 minutes before the departure. But that varies from airport to airport and airline to airline. So make sure to check your boarding time and gate opening times on your boarding pass, and be at the gate on time. Don't be late, please. Once on board of the aircraft, make sure you are polite to your seat neighbors and to flight attendants. You never know when you may require help during the flight, and they are the people who will help you. During your flight, make sure you stay hydrated, so drink plenty of water and try to get some rest, or to get some sleep if you can. I personally find it the best time to try and fall asleep, and actually being the most successful at falling asleep is during taxiing and takeoff. It kind of gives you this rocking feeling, like you feel you're in the car and you nod off and you fall asleep. But that works for me. I don't It's probably not going to work for everyone else, but give it a try. If you can't sleep, well then just watch a movie, read a book, or listen to music. Just to do something that entertains you to pass by the time while you're on the airplane. And if you want to learn which seats are better and which are worse on an airplane, I've got a link in my description to a video I did about selecting the right seat for you and the reasons why. Once you arrive at your destination, you will need to go through the passport control. Make sure you have all your documents ready, so your passport, your visa if required. Sometimes you might be asked for your hotel bookings or even proof of funds which are available during your stay. So make sure that information is handy and available to be presented if needed. Once you are through the passport control, go ahead and collect your checked-in luggage, and then you're generally through the final security clearance and you're at your destination, ready to enjoy your holiday. So as you can see, traveling is not complicated. As long as you have a proper plan in place, you've researched your destination, you've booked your activities, you got all your documents sorted, you got on a flight, you got to your destination, and you're ready to enjoy. It's easy and it's not stressful, providing you have a proper plan in place. So, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it useful. Thank you for watching and have a safe and enjoyable travel.